And that is the sound of the meteor that did not hit the Earth today. It's September 23rd, and the bomb that you just heard is not the sound of the meteor hitting the Earth. We are not being hit by a meteor today. That kind of started sort of the whole conspiracy theory YouTube direction we went with, because we put somebody on, I don't even know who it was, or we were just reading about it. There were a lot of people that felt a meteor would hit the Earth today. Now, again, I'm in the East Coast. I'm in New York, where the Pope is, and I'm sure that Spiro, my guest, will have plenty to say about that. But a lot of people were saying today was a very big day, and that a meteor was supposed to hit the Earth, that NASA already knew about it. And with 5 hours left on the East Coast and 8 hours on the West Coast, where, of course, we are broadcasting our program from, it looks like we're going to be saved, folks. So this is a happy day. Now, before I bring Spiro on, I got to tell you, this show is going to be one of the best shows ever that we've had since I've been on this radio station. Spiro's going to be on right away, and he's going to be great. Then, around halfway through the show, a very special edition of Hater Bro. A guy and his girlfriend who probably did one of the most noble things I have ever encountered in my entire career. They did something that I very much deserved. They made sure, by my horrible comments, that I was banned from Facebook for 1 month. And again, I deserved it. So you will meet the two people that made that possible. And what I said, the horrible thing I said, that I deserved. Anyway, we will be talking to Dave Gahan Jr., that's his nickname, and his girlfriend in about half an hour. So that should be good. Also, our first ever Drive Time Star of the Day, and that's going to be pretty fun. And last but not least, this is very concerning to me, because both myself and Di in the studio, we have gotten threats in a text message. I did in a text message. I think Guy did on the phone by the same person. So I received a threat, and I will read it to you on the air. But first, let's go to the phones and bring on right now another YouTube superstar. We are the official radio station of YouTube. We now even have our own YouTube channel called The YouTube Radio Show, where we take all the interviews with YouTubers and we put them up afterwards. And we're already getting a lot of subscribers. I can't thank the people that I interview enough for helping us get established on YouTube, because my knowledge of YouTube is not great. But it's interesting, because you get a lot of people speaking who you don't hear on mainstream media. It's my very, very great honor to welcome to the radio show Spiro. Spiro, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Oh, I'm great, especially you coming on here. Thanks for all the nice props. Thanks for the video on your YouTube channel talking about your appearance. You've been pretty busy, I've noticed. Just today, you've been posting a lot on your YouTube channel, quite a few videos.
I try to stay as current as I can, and just try to continue to pump out the information as it comes to me, you know, whether it's through my own research, or there's a great group of people out there that every day, through their own just desire of knowledge and truth, you know, they're gathering information themselves, things that they find pertinent, they send my way, and I try to just get out as much information as I can, you know.
Yeah, and your YouTube channel, it's not Spiro, is it?
Well, I have two. I just started up a backup channel. It is my main YouTube channel is Spiro, and then I started up the backup channel ORIPS, which is just simply Spiro backwards, just in case they try to bring down my main channel. I won't be left, you know, dead in the water.
Who is they? Who would take down your main channel?
Well, anyone that doesn't like what I'm saying. There's no doubt that censorship plays a massive role in today's society. And if for those out there that speak out against the established, the mainstream story, the official narrative, so to speak, that could potentially pose a threat to the story that they want to put out there to make you believe, to alter your perception. So,
What have you said most recently that you think people want to destroy you for, that's been the truth that mainstream media is not saying?
Oh, that's a good question. There's a lot of information out there. Well, we recently have gotten attacked from. There was some issue. A story I put out talking about how that Saudi Mecca crane collapse that happened on 9/11, and I pointed out how the Bin Laden group actually ran that crane, the specific crane that collapsed there. They have a huge construction operation that's very well established there in Saudi Arabia, and they didn't like the fact that I had pointed out that there was yet another 9/11 connection there with the Bin Laden family, and had some attacks there. That's probably the most recent, biggest attacks that we had seen with that.
What do you mean by attacks? I mean, who was attacking you, and what or who did they attack?
Well, there was a website, Underground World News, that's Dabu 7's website, that posted some videos on, and I had mentioned that, and it had been attacked and brought down. So.
You mean like a DDoS attack?
Right.
Yeah, if people don't know what DDoS is, explain how anybody can have their website hacked into and completely destroyed, because I don't think a lot of people know about that.
Well, I think you pretty much just stated it right there. Yeah, some of these other platforms like YouTube, they don't do that there, and that video is up on YouTube right now. But
I see. So they took down Dabu 7's website, and who was it? Do you think that took it down?
Well, I'm not sure exactly what all the details behind it, but I know I can't say for certain myself. I don't know if I can't prove anything myself, but the attacks began shortly after that Saudi Mecca video. So you'd be the judge of that one.
What does the video show that incensed everybody so much? Because I haven't seen it.
Well, I just pointed out that the Bin Laden group ran the cranes there in Saudi that collapsed on Mecca during that storm that happened on September 11th. There was some interesting points. A guy you had on, Enter the Stars, he's well on top of things out there, and he pointed out days before that some certain signs were pointing to Mecca with certain things. But yeah, it was, and then that goes with anything. It doesn't matter if you're talking about vaccines. It doesn't matter if you're talking about 9/11 or anything like that. If you step on some toes, they're quick to try to silence you, whether it be shutting down your channel or any means necessary that they can do. So that's why I just started the backup channel, just in case, if I put something out there that somebody doesn't like and they try to take down my channel, then I have a backup ready to go.
Okay, so your main channel is Spiro then, Spiro, right, on YouTube?
Yes.
And your backup, can you spell that so people know that one?
Yep, it's ORIPS, ORIPS. I think I put a space in there. Made me have to put a space in there. So it's just simply Spiro backwards. And I left a link. There's a link on both channels so you can travel between the two of them pretty easily.
Okay. Hey, Spiro, tell us something. Yesterday when we had Dabu 7 on, he mentioned that there was he had a lot of concern because the Pope was in Washington, D.C. I guess, has the Pope come now to New York? Is he here where I'm at now? Did he arrive?
No, he's still in D.C.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right, and Dabu 7 also mentioned all the world leaders are here. Tell us something very, very big that maybe nobody in media has reported at all that you could share with the radio listeners here. Something very shocking and concerning.
Sure. Well, let me start right now by saying, yes, the Pope is in D.C. right now, and there's a few significant things here I'd like to point out to people that may not know, and this is This is the 266th Pope right now, and he met today at the White House in the Oval Office with Obama on the 266th day of the year. Now, 266 is significant because that is precisely the earliest point of the gestation period for the human embryo, from conception to birth. So now, whether you believe, or any of you out there listening believe in the occult or anything like that, it doesn't matter. These things happen for significant reasons. They do believe in this kind of stuff. Very significant in the timing of everything. This isn't a coincidence. Things like this don't just happen to, coincide with one another. So that, to me, would signify that this meeting there is the birthing of something new, an end of a cycle, a beginning of a new cycle, so to speak, a new order, potentially. So that right there is very significant there in D.C.
And now, that new order, in your opinion, that new order is going to be created by the Pope and President Obama?
I would say that they are both puppets, both players in the game that have very significant roles to play in ushering in that order, absolutely. They themselves aren't going to do it single-handedly, but they definitely have their important roles to play. And they present themselves in these certain situations to the average public, to the normal people out there, they wouldn't pay any attention to it other than, hey, the Pope's here, and let's party and or whatever, or let's celebrate. But there's messages in there, like I just described there, with the significance behind 266 right there.
All right, we are talking to Spiro. He's got a big-time YouTube channel, and he's telling you stuff that mainstream media won't say. A lot of people probably won't believe, but he says potentially the Pope and President Obama are part of a new world order. So what we're going to do when we come back, I'm going to ask Spiro what that new world order is and when it's going to happen. So we're talking to Spiro as we continue here with Drive Time Radio with the Poor Man and YouTube superstar Spiro. We'll be back after this. I'm happy to be alive. A meteor has not hit the Earth, okay? And look, any guest I have on, I'm absolutely going to listen, and I'm going to take what they say seriously because, with Spiro, with Dabu 7, with Enter the Stars, Lynn Lees, Lisa Havens, we've had a lot of these. I don't even want to call them conspiracy theorists. In my opinion, they're alternative news reporting services. And it's good to hear this because, people doubt stuff, and how do you know it's not going to happen? How does anybody out there? I've been getting texts, people, blah, 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 blah. You don't know. You honestly don't know. If you did know, we'd all be millionaires. We'd all live forever, but that's why people need to be heard. So Spiro is back with me. Spiro, before we get into the New World Order, what it's going to be, in your opinion, and when it's going to happen, what do you think about the fact we aren't going to have a meteor hitting the Earth today?
That we are or that we aren't?
No, that we aren't. Maybe we have a few hours left. It could happen, but I'm guessing we'll be okay.
I've seen a lot of stuff out there about that, and I kind of, to be honest with you, didn't even pay a whole lot of attention to it myself. I myself did not think that was going to happen today, but I appreciate the fact that you brought me on your show, which potentially could be the last day, on the planet. So, way to, close it out with a bang.
Listen, if that's the case, can you get me a few bottles of Dom Perignon and a few naked hot women that could just hang with me?
I'll work on that.
So personally though, I don't think Dabu 7 said he saw any evidence of that happening, and you feel the same way?
Yeah, no, now there is obviously going to be a lot of information out there and a lot of disinformation out there, and then a lot of people that make wild claims. And a lot of that stuff can be put out there to discredit those that actually have legitimate claims and facts and points of view and all that kind of stuff. So it's very tricky when you're trying to manage yourself through all the information that's out there, and you have to use a level of discernment, and you have to investigate and not just jump on the hype and be scared into believing, that the world's going to come to an end today or tomorrow or next week, because that's likely not the case. And So that's how I feel about it. You know, I think that the scare tactics are very effective in that manner there, keeping people not knowing what's going on. And there's certain agencies out there that state that their goal will be reached when nobody knows what's going on, when no one knows the truth about anything. So there's a lot of disinformation, psyops, psychological warfare out there that's being played on the minds of the people.
I'm sorry, there's a lot of psychological... Say that again?
There's a lot of psychological warfare that's being played on the minds of the people on a daily basis, whether you turn on the television, you know, in the mainstream media or whatever. There are agencies that infiltrate and work with these media outlets out there to control your perception of reality, to make you think a certain way about a certain, you know, person or you know, someone who's running in the presidential race, for example, or a certain scandal. You know, there's countless examples.
You know, tell me about... I lost my train of thought for a second. I'm getting so many texts. Oh, yeah. Do you get the haters like I do? I get so... Dude, I almost feel like, again, we're in two different realms. I want to be the radio show of YouTube and listen to what you guys have to say. But today I was just talking to my producer Pat, and we were saying that it almost seems like our entire show is surrounded by Haterville. Do you get the same thing, or is it just me?
No, absolutely. There are the haters out there, the trolls and the shills, and they try to go out there and sway public opinion as well, whether it be in the comment sections or just trying to affect you and your own confidence and train of thought and your own work, as anybody out there.
Huh?
Yeah, the haters. The haters are going to hate. We can't spend too much time worrying about them, but they are out there without a doubt.
Okay, now real quickly, tell me about when the New World Order. You had mentioned that before the break. When the New World Order is going to happen and what it's going to be. I think we got about 2 minutes left, so if you can somehow let me know about that, that'd be great.
Sure. So this weekend in Manhattan, world leaders are going to be meeting for the UN General Assembly, and they're going to be kicking off the 2030 agenda. Now, I'm talking about world leaders, everyone around, everyone from Obama, Putin, the Iranian president, the Chinese president. Leaders from 160 other countries are going to be meeting there. And the Pope is going to be kicking off the address. He's going to be speaking there, right? They're going to be pushing the 2030 agenda, which is basically Agenda 21 on steroids worldwide. And they're going to be using sustainable development and climate change as their guide, as their Trojan horse to take over and micromanage every aspect of our life. You know, how much energy we can consume, where we can go, what we can do. And this is all going down this weekend. The UN General Assembly is happening in Manhattan.
And you think this New World Order will be coming into effect in 2030? Is that the reason you mentioned that?
Well, actually, I think that this has been a plan that's been implemented over a long period of time and incrementally. They can't just come in and take over overnight. But what they can do is they can, through time, chip away at our freedoms, at our rights, condition us and psychologically to where it'll get to the point to where it's already here and we don't even realize it, and then they sign it into law, international law, and before you know it, it's here, it's upon us. So
and
it's a process.
How soon will it be here in a big way, in your opinion? Like how many years, just in your opinion?
Well, right, I say that the time is now. We can't sit around and wait for, when's it going to happen? Because then I can do something right before it happens. They're meeting this weekend in Manhattan and signing into, international law type stuff, rolling out the UN General Assembly, the Agenda 2030. So essentially it's happening now. Essentially it has been happening. It's already happening. And it's going to continue to progress. So.
All right, Spiro, listen, thank you a million for being on the show today. You've been a great guest, and I'd love to have you back on sometime. Real quickly, tell people how they can see your videos on YouTube.
Well, you just head over to Spiro, S-P-I-R-O. Just search that in YouTube. It should come up. You can also catch me over at Underground World News and Zeekly.com.
All right. You've been great, man. Thanks for coming on. Really appreciate it, Spiro.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. Have a great day.
You
Now,
too.
coming up
Bye.
next, Hater Bro is going to be reaching new heights. It'll be our first live interview ever on Hater Bro. I will be speaking with Dave Gahan Jr., a man, along with his girlfriend, who got me banned from Facebook for 30 days.